advocates are pushing to re-adopt parole into the state's criminal justice system. News Center Maine's Chloe Tebow joins us now with more about where they are in the process. Hey, Chloe.
Hi, Chris. Yeah, there's a new report out from the Commission to examine reestablishing parole. The 130th Legislature established this commission last spring. Its 13 members met 5 times over the fall to talk about this issue and come up with recommendations for the current legislature. I spoke with a couple of people involved to learn more about the conclusions and what next steps look like.
Many people are shocked to find out that Maine doesn't have parole.
For nearly 5 decades, parole hasn't been an option for people incarcerated in Maine. Now Joseph Jackson, executive director of the Maine Prisoner Advocacy Coalition, is optimistic that could change. I'm
very hopeful. I'm actually excited for the conversation.
Jackson was one of 13 members on the commission to examine reestablishing parole in Maine, which held its final meeting at the end of November. Just last week, it released its report of findings and recommendations to the 131st Legislature.
There's still this mentality of being tough on crime as a way to solve the social solution for safety in the community. And I think that what we've recognized is that those two things don't necessarily align.
Some of the report's main findings highlight disparities in racial demographics in prison, the consideration of violent crime as a public health issue, and the importance of adequate resources for offenders, victims, and communities. Some recommendations include establishing and improving pathways to early release for people who no longer pose a threat to public safety, reestablishing parole in Maine, and making sure there's increased support for victims.
I think at the end of the day, we're also re-examining what accountability looks like.
I think that we really do have some strong laws right now, and Maine is one of the safest states in the country.
Representative Scott Searway was one of 2 members not in favor of parole. He says one of his major concerns is not having the hands needed to handle it.
Just in the last 10-15 years, we've lost a lot of resources.
Searway also mentioned prison residents in Maine already have some opportunity to get out early, with good time and the supervised community confinement program.
You really should be looking at the victims and helping them get through what they've experienced.
Now, Commission member Joseph Jackson says they have a bill to reestablish parole with sponsors on both sides of the aisle, and they're working on a proposal right now. It will be heard in the Criminal Justice and Public Safety Committee.